first.
On the tee now with Garcia and Reed. Sergio with driver. Ready to get his Sunday underway.
This is game number 37. On the tee from Spain, Sergio Garcia.
Look at all the people on the beach trying to get a glimpse of Sergio as he tees off.
A free look.
Yes.
You can see the claret jug, that's for sure. Sergio still has to have belief that if he could do something miraculous here on the front nine and the leaders stumble, that maybe that chance for a first major is still in play today.
He can really light the driver. Actually has a little bit of a descending strike with the driver, unlike most players.
He'll play from the right, but well down there. We'll have a wedge in. Fairway. Keegan as he falls after one hole to a tie for 16th place. He's 2 shots from being outside the top 30. It can happen that quick at Royal Troon. 4 groups remain. We're back.
It's very easy to get overconfident. I mean, suddenly you think you're a Formula One driver. Oh dear, oh dear. Water is hard when you come off at 50 miles an hour. Beautiful overhead view of this wonderful links. Tee shots. Gives you a good impression of where everything is, that graphic. Sergio way down there. 107 yards left. Reed 152.
Hole in the back left corner here, 25 paces from the front edge. And just 4 from the left edge, so you've seen a lot of players.
Brave tee shot from Sergio because he brought the left-hand bunkers into play. His intention was always to keep it down the right side, but it's dangerous down there. But now he has got the most perfect angle in and a good lie. He would expect this to be inside 12 feet, I reckon. And that's a good shot, but I think he would have liked that half that distance. Not too disappointed though. Opening hole. Pop it in for birdie and carry on.
Often from that length, you'll make us free a putt. Because, you know, it'd be nice to get it in, but you won't be upset if you don't. If you get it up there about a couple of paces from the hole, you feel you must get it in and can create a little tension. So just a nice free putt and get off to a good start.
Two swings. On the first tee, Sergio away first. A much more athletic figure than Patrick Reed, and he's always had that characteristic, gets to the top, drops it down and a little bit more inside, gets it quite late and gives it a serious thump.
It's funny, in those early 30s, I think you're old, but you're not, boy, you're still at your peak. Right, Sergio, can he get away with a birdie now? Don't look for too much. Nice line of arms and club. If he hit it, no, he hasn't. But I prefer to see a little bit of support. The elbows, close to your body, and just support. Anyway, disappointing, but as you tipped, quite liable to leave it short there in the first green.
2 under par, both of these players will be thinking, you know, if I could somehow find a way. I know it's a big ask, but to shoot 6 under par this afternoon, 5, 6 under par, and it's up to the 2 leaders to see what they can achieve.
They're going to have to do that at least, and of course the leaders have got to come back to them a bit. Second hole par 4, 391 yards. You can see the bunker 252 from the left and 274 yards to get past the 2 on the right. Beautifully bunkered the green, 4 bunkers, front left and front right. And the other fairway bunkers, you can see they're not really in play today as the players. When they're downwind, they could worry them. Beautiful little hole and not a big green. Tiny target.
Yeah, you better have some accuracy around this golf course. And a lot of the greens raised up, drop off on both sides. So accuracy an essential around this golf course. That's the way it should be too, actually, I think.
I know.
Accuracy should be an integral part of the game, not just, you know, how many muscles you've got.
It's always been a help, you know, but the lighter guys normally got wonderful timing. The bigger guys are just strong enough to move that club. And you think of what a wonderful old professionals like Brayton, Varden and Ted Ray and them did, how strong they must have been to go with the clubs they went with and balls. It was astonishing. And old Tom Morris with a feathery. Some of the scores they made, Tony, were quite amazing as we watched Sergio. 3 wood on the second hole. Yep. The man with the signboard behind the tee, signalling straight, and there she is, and divot missed.
Yeah, these guys, well, the back nine will be a little easier for them.
It's amazing. All you've been watching. The match between Jamie Donaldson and the Australian Adam Scott, and they were chatting away happily throughout, and then they got a big hole. Everywhere else, you know, just tear the roots and everything out, and they just put sand in. They never put the grass back. But at Robertson, you can actually put it back, and it'll be fine.
Oh wow, I've never played down there. Our course is like Humewood down in Port Elizabeth. It's a linksy type design, but you know, you've got Kikuyu fairways, and you know, you don't get that run, do you, where you can chase it into par 4s and par 5s.
Never a factor.
Bump and run it.
I can imagine Humewood with these sort of conditions, the firmness. I mean, it's a marvellous, marvellous course. And that...
That's the problem when you leave it that far back off the tee, though. He was going in with a long iron there.
Yeah. Look at Sergio. Show us a little stuff. Strictly follow through, a little punchy type of shot. Okay, a little long, but okay.
Glenn on the bag there, alias Hopper. That's his nickname on tour.
We used to use the two South African, Glenn and Gary. Wasn't it Gary or the other one, the shorter, stockier one they used to work together? I think it was Gary. But Glenn has sort of been full-time with him now for a long time.
Nine drops.
Right, long putt now. Sergio's birdie 3 at the second. I'll try and come good from his left.
I was quite surprised. I asked Sergio on the putting green on Wednesday, I said, "Sir, how long is it now since you've been using the claw grip?" What would you say? Have a guess.
Probably about 3 years.
You know what, I thought probably 2 or 3 years. He says he's been using the claw grip for over 5 years now. I can't get my head around that.
It's amazing how time waits for no man. Okay, pop this one in, Sergio.
Par start. Yeah, I think Glenn. I think he used to share the bag with Greg, didn't he?
It was Greg, yeah, you're right.
Known as helpful. He was our head of caddies at the cover.
I don't have any preconceived notions either.
Well, you first met me, you thought I was quite nice, eh? And then look what I did.
Yes, yes, yes.
Third hole, another short par 4. Jason Day drove it just short of the screen this morning with a very soft bounce too. But as I say, the wind was off the right and helping. It has switched to the southwest. So into off the right. And there's a ditch down there at 280 to reach. 285 to carry. One of only 2 hazards on this golf course, water hazards. Runs across the third in front of us here and then through to the 16th fairway.
Mm-hmm. That's not very big, but it can cause havoc. Anyway, 3 wood there, it looks like, for Sergio. Almost took a divot with that one.
Marshall's indicating straight. It is. He'll be relishing the challenge, Sergio. He loves these conditions. He loves having to maneuver the ball because...
Now there's the ball. I'm sure that's over and past the ditch. Or should I call it the weave button?
Parallel to a sprinkler, but is it parallel? Should it be on the arc? You've got to sort of take an arc as if it was a giant-sized compass.
I mean, they've had those problems. Ouch. There, good club out.
Much less the modern ball is affected by wind. Wind into your face and crosswinds. You sort of get the feel sometimes the ball almost self-straightens. It's incredible. Talking of people who can chip, this man's definitely not amongst the worst. He's handy around the greens. And he prefers the sort of old style method of chipping. He sort of takes the club away and almost lags the club head behind to ensure that the hands remain leading the club head. Hit the ball down into the turf. We'll get a good view of it. There you go, and give it a little hit with the right hand. Just got to love it.
Oh, that was spectacular. When you said talking about men who could chip, I thought that's the way you were going to introduce me.
would I be that harsh? But
You
I'd
would.
like to say welcome to Dale Hayes,
It's
chipping
nice,
guru.
nice to be working with you, Mr. Johnston.
Wasn't this gorgeous, Hazy? See, I mean, you know, he'd picked a spot on that little upslope, and if you'd put a 10p coin down there, he would have landed right on it.
You know, that's something that I've been thinking about recently. Is he plays it off his back foot. He plays it almost opposite his right toe, but also very close to his right toe. He stands very close to the ball, almost the same sort of distance as a putt.
Yeah.
He certainly is. I think if Sergio had a little bit more of that sort of attitude, Sergio would be a major champion today. He would have won a number of majors.
Yeah, agreed. And you always feel with Sergio, if he can hold a putt or two early on in the round, it's happy days, here we go, I can do this. But, you know, miss one or two from 3 or 4 feet, and you always get the feeling, well, adios, Sergio. That's you done for the day. We won't be seeing much more of you.
Well, how many great champions would you have heard stand up in front of the press?
But he's probably a little bit too honest for his own good. First par 5 on the golf course is the 4th hole, 560 yards. It's a dog leg to the right. And there you can see beautifully bunker green. There's 2 bunkers on the right hand side, the 1 bunker on the front left. Pin was on the back left today. And definitely a hole that's reachable.
It's an unfortunate thing, really. It's our fault, the modern media, because we put such pressures and demands on the players. We want them to give us everything and be honest and upfront, and then when they get knocked down.
We're just both sitting here staring at him. I think he's
that's
right.
a very good point. No, you're 100% right. 4.62. This hole is playing the easiest of all the holes on the golf course.
Hold the front page.
Shadows.
Yeah, earlier than predicted, but there is some blue sky and some sunshine.
Driver for Sergio. Father is a professional golfer. Played a little bit on the senior tour.
Yeah, no, I think he still does. He's hysterical, actually. He follows Sergio around on a regular basis and always has a pitching wedge in his hand. Always.
That's why Sergio chips so well.
Probably.
He's one of those guys that the strike just has a different sound. Comes right out, the sweet spot, time and time again. Beach. Just a little worried there about how it vanished and we never saw it reappear.
Schwartzel has just birdied this to get to 4 under. Just makes such a difference. Somehow everyone gets a bit more cheerful when the sun comes out. Bit of warmth on the back. Pictures look better.
We certainly see it in you. And you smile for the first time today.
And the jet skiers thoroughly enjoy it, whether it's cold and wet or warm and wet. I remember going on one of those in China, doing an opening for the Golf Channel many moons ago, and they said you can't wear your glasses. Better to put a little pot in like this that you have to jump into and climb out of, and then you'd be worried about it.
There was a golf course in South Africa that changed all their bunkers to pot bunkers, and when they were doing all the work, the professional at the golf club went around with the designer, and he said, you know, I think we've got a problem here. I don't think our members can get out of these bunkers. So the designer said, well, then it's a good opportunity for you to give some lessons. You know, teach them, coach them how to get out of bunker. He said, no, I don't mean they can't get their balls out. I mean they can't get out.
Well, and some of the particularly some of the more quirky links courses around the coast of UK, quite a lot of bunkers. They have those sleeper faces, vertical sleeper faces, but steps to get out of.
Now, Sergio. Second shot onto this par 5. And he can reach. But can he actually put it on the green?
Very soft landing. A bit unlucky there, really.
Perhaps a club too little. You know, getting back to that story about not being able to get out the bunkers, it's quite interesting then, because they contacted the RNA and they asked them whether they could bring in a local rule to allow their members to drop the ball out of the bunker. And the test of time.
And stand the test of time, which this has. It's been lengthened by 100 yards over the last 30 years. It's barely nothing, and it's still a wonder.
But so many of these old links courses up here just evolved. They weren't really created, were they? They evolved over a long period of time.
And, you know, they really did fine-tune it.
That would be very interesting. You know, the other thing is that over years those golf courses all change too. They fill in bunkers and they add new bunkers and move tees around. And so it's the few authentic ones that there still are left are definitely worth a visit.
Should go pretty much right to left at the end. I think probably mainly a little bit of left right there, maybe, then right to left.
Terrific touch from very long range. It's a good 75 feet, that putt. From there it always looks like it can't be anywhere else but adjacent.
Everybody is on the court.
Patience to be able to do that. You know, they want to just keep going, go for broke, go for broke, go for broke. I read Arnold Palmer's book, playing at Henry Chapman Golf Club down in Harare in Zimbabwe. Go for broke. Don't ever play safe. I hit it behind a tree. I hit my tee shot behind a tree and I thought, I can get over this tree. Well, if I'd been any more unlucky, I could still be there now, 40 years later. I hit it straight into the back of the tree. I made an 8 on the hole and lost the tournament by 1 shot. I did to Alan Henning.
Oh, man. What did you do with the book? You just put it in the bonfire.
Go for broke on.
Very much in the wrong direction on Sunday afternoon. There's his playing partner. Makes his first birdie of the day. Moves to 3 under. What's for Garcia now, who's come so close so often, would just love to win a major? What's his approach going out now, do you think? Does he just play it shot at a time, hole by hole, or is he thinking a bit more aggressively? I've got to try and go out and make birdies and hope that the leaders come back to me.
Yeah, I think he's got to be aggressive. You know, in Sergio's mind, he's 3 under par. Okay. And Mickelson's 12 now. But, you know, 9 shots. We've seen 10-shot swings over 18 holes. If he can find himself 5 or 6 birdies, which we know Sergio is capable of, there's no guarantee that Mickelson and Stenson will keep going forward. And total up at the end of the day, see what you get.
But he's got to get to minimum 9 or 10 under par to have a chance, which is realistic for him. It's possible for him, but he's got to be very aggressive. He's got to go for birdies.
This fifth hole is beautiful par 3, 192 yards, and the pin tucked in just over that front bunker. It is a very difficult pin placement. Very difficult to get the ball near the pin, especially with the way the wind is blowing today.
Well, this morning it was actually off the right and helping. I mean, there was literally no way of getting it close. I think Ricky Fowler was the first one we saw get it anywhere near that flag, and that was after the wind had switched into off the right. If you're brave enough to hit a hard cut, you can take it on over that bunker, but it is dangerous. I think your question will be answered here, Hazy. We'll see what he takes on here. Does he have a go? Because that'll tell us exactly what he's thinking.
Well, he did have a go, that's for sure. He was going for the flag. Let's hope that ball has gone into the middle of that bunker. It's on a little bit of a downslope. It might just be okay.
So come pretty steeply into the back of it. There's not got much room there.
Yeah, and he's coming up and landing on the shoulder of that ridge.
Sorry, I missed that. Which university did you
Augusta State.
Augusta State.
This is going to take a stroke of Spanish genius. Tony Johnston is one of the most gifted bunker players in Europe, if not the world.
It's taken you all these years to notice.
No, I've always known. I've just been very reluctant to tell you. How does he do this?
Well, you know what? He's stuck for options here because it's close to the back lip, so he's going to have to come down very steeply. Pick the club up sharply, come down steeply, which means he's going to lose a bit of height. And that's why he's got that club face. I mean, look at the club face. The club face is parallel to the ground. But you better make sure you get some serious clubhead speed. Oh, man. Sergio, you little beauty. In the gallery are thinking, wow, what a good shot. They've got no idea how tough that was up against the back lip. Fantastic shot.
Tony, how much of an influence do you think Seve has had on these guys? And the reason I asked that question is that I watched, let's just see this.
Cool, look at that release. Oh, thing of beauty.
A few weeks ago I watched Kiradech Abhibarnat, who's got a tremendous short game, but he's just having a little bit of a confidence crisis, getting a lesson from Jimenez, and at the end of it Jimenez said, that's the way Seve always taught us. So even somebody of Jimenez's quality learnt it from Seve.
No, absolutely, and you know that knowledge is going to get passed down.
These are the important ones for Sergio. These are the ones that, when he wins, he gets them in. And unfortunately, far too often, he's not able to do that.
Left to right.
Beautifully hold, beautifully hold.
Because that is definitely his Achilles heel, no question. But that is a great up and down.
But he's much better now. He went through a horrible stage 2 or 3 years back. Using the claw grip now, he's a much more solid short putter.
Question, how long do you think he's been using the claw grip now, Sergio?
I don't know, it's been consistent, but on and off I think he's had it for quite a while.
Have a guess.
5 years?
Very good. Dale and I both thought it was about 2 or 3. But then again, I suppose when you get to your advanced age, you get more aware of time.
6th hole, 601 yards, par 5. Bunkers left and right, off the tee to be avoided, and then that bunker short of the green by about 30 yards up the right hand side is a fantastic trap if you're going for it in 2, because you need to be going on that line up the right hand side.
A very good description of the 6th hole by Julian Tutt after taking tremendous abuse from Tony Johnston.
Did you notice how he just glided past it with that? And I'll pay for that later.
I'm on this hole. A couple of double bogeys and worse. Ranked 14th hardest, in other words, quite easy, but it's still averaging just over par 5.03. Shows how hard the course is. The wind has not relented, still blowing at 18 miles an hour.
Sergio Garcia. 601 yard. Just needs 2 of your best shots. You've got to make sure that you hit the fairway off the tee.
Asking it to get down softly. What's it heading towards? That.
Oh dear.
There.
Oh dear, that's very unfortunate.
Back in 1997.
That year, was it in the 3rd round or the final round that he half shanked his tee shot on the first hole?
Fuck's sakes.
It was the final round of the second tee.
Was that the second tee? Was it out of bounds?
Out of bounds off the second.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his last shank that day either. He had a couple.
You're kidding.
Got a couple going that day though. Taking off 45 degrees. It was
How-
horrible to watch.
How often have you shanked on a golf course in a tournament?
Once.
The same with me once.
But I was an out-to-in. I was a cutter of the ball, so the hosel was always moving away from the ball. It was not a nice feeling, even that once. Still have memories of it.
Garcia in the bunker. Reed with 317 yards to go. Expect him maybe to lay up from there, because that bunker on the right is dangerous.
Covers which Nick Price had made, which were fantastic.
Well, they gave the Americans.
No, our guys. Give the Americans, should give the Americans anything. We want to give them a hiding. That's the only thing we want to give them.
But he's an American.
I know. I'm just saying it. The cover's probably from the President's Cup. Am I getting through to you?
Yeah, you're very confusing.
The President's Cup is America versus the rest of the world. The Ryder Cup is America versus Europe.
Would you just watch Sergio Garcia hacking out of this bunker, please? Well done.
Yeah, I just totally precluded him from ever thinking about anything else.
He was saying that Nick Price, who captains the other team, gave them. We were talking about the American.
Yes, but Nick Price is carrying the other team, captaining the other team to his team, Reed's team. I think we should carry on with Sergio, because we're going nowhere with this.
We were talking about his cover. Stars and Stripes cover. Listen, no wonder the other lot can't win when they're being vice captained by.
Oh no, we're going to have a surprise for them. Oh, well, that's if
And do that very well, by all
no,
accounts.
hopeless.
I'm told the shoes were filthy.
Hopeless. It was very, very muddy.
So are you going to be the vice captain? Have they told you?
No, I haven't been asked yet. Nothing's been announced or decided, but I behaved quite well, I thought.
I'm sure Nick
Now,
Price could do better.
Can he get home in 3, Jules?
He's got to have. I'm not sure exactly. He's got to have 280 yards, maybe a touch less.
Into off the right. It's going to have to be a good one, isn't it?
He's aiming for a good one.
I think he'd have to move this from right to left, because on the 3rd he had 280 to the ditch and didn't get home. Didn't reach there with a 3, but he was quite a bit short. He's going to give this everything he's got.
It's not aiming right.
There you go.
That front left bunker might be in trouble. Oh, he's missed that.
We saw Lee Westwood hold a chip from there this morning. Actually played it well right of the flag into the mound in the semi-rough, which killed it, and it dribbled down the hill into the hole, so it can be done.
Was he there in 2 or 3?
2.
2. Second shot down there. But the wind hadn't switched yet. I mean, there were a lot of guys getting home this morning. Not now. another chance to watch Sergio's greenside skills.
What does he do here, Tony?
Well, honestly, you know, he could try the aerial route and just get it 30 feet past the hole, or he could see the shot that that Westwood saw this morning, which played fantastically, literally into the semi-rough on the side of the mound, left of the green. But I don't think he's going that way.
A lot of divots down there.
Yeah, lots. No, he's gone a different route and played it fantastically well. That's a great shot.
Could you come up short of that flag?
I could come up short of the upslope if I duffed it, yes, easily.
See, he doesn't have a great lie. That's quite a tight lie he's got there next to that divot. That's a fabulous shot.
But you see the lag in the clubhead though.
Wow.
No? That's what I'm trying to get you to do.
I've got so much lag I forget to hit it.
And he's got some skill, this guy. Man.
That was just an old flag.
So, Hazy, you know what? I'll take that on the chin for you because I think I've upset him so much he's going to take it out on both of us now.
That's a bit harsh, Julia. Is that your name?
Wade?
No, I think it is. I just don't like them. I just don't think. I think all these aids should be banned.
This will be a good par for Sergio if he knocks us in. Beautifully held. Great par. That really was a good par.
I know you can't turn the clock back, but I would love to. I'd love to get rid of all yardages and just go back to eyeballing it. She didn't tell me about that.
Seventh hole.
Stunner. Great golf hole.
Really is.
Oh, she is, I agree.
401 yards. 2 bunkers down the right, 2 bunkers down the left. And again this morning guys were going with driver and driving it to the base of the upslope, short of the green. That's not going to happen now. It's going to be a little head scratcher. And what do we do? How far down do we go? Because you can lay it up short of all of the bunkers. You've got to hit it about 230 yards, but that's going to leave you about 175 to the flag into the breeze.
Glenn's pulled out the 3-wood.
Yeah, didn't think for a minute Sergio wouldn't have a go. He's got about 270 over the second bunker up the right. Now, even with a bit of breeze into him, he's long enough to get past that.
Is that a 3-wood or a driver? Is it a 3-wood?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a driver.
It's a driver.
Yes, you're right. I thought that was a 3-wood. It didn't look as steep enough face. 3 would be a very strange club to take.
But you know what, Jules? Just looking at the compass bearing on here, this hole actually does go at a slightly different angle, doesn't it? So this is off the right. You know what? It might even be a fraction width.
I think it is. The arrows were indicating wind helping a little. So he's got to take it over the right-hand bunker.
All right. All right.
Cool.
Fantastic drive.
He saw it the other way. Actually hit it up there with a little bit of left to right.
And that's the upslope at the front of the bunker. That's a fantastic tee shot.
Terrific tee shot.
Doesn't get any better than that. And to make the cut.
And I'd like to say once again, the fact that he went out and tried to pre-qualify. I could have sat back hoping that he might get a special invitation. But he didn't. He just went and he did the qualifying and did it.
Well, I don't think there's no invites going, are there?
I don't know. I'm
No,
not
I
sure.
don't think
They
he
do in the US Open. See by the flag, just a touch right to left of the wind. So he's got to start out at that person with the blue jacket just to the right of the flag. Oh, that was an unlucky bounce.
But I've seen that happen time and time again today. It's amazing how many players have done that. There's something there that they're not seeing, and obviously sharply downwind as well. So just pointing out some spot there where it maybe kicked it forward. He would certainly have expected to get closer than that from where he was. If he makes the birdie putt, all will be forgiven and forgotten. Stenson drops a shot at the first, then birdies the next two to get it back to 13 under. Phil Mickelson has eagled the fourth to go to 14 under. If they go on like this, the rest of the field can forget. Well, I think they forget it now. Most people thought it was going to be a head-to-head at the top, and Garcia gets it in the back door. Well played. Terrific. This really was a backdoor job. Wasn't it?
It really was.
That was the. And so to the postage stamp, where you really hope not to come unstuck.
You're right. You know, the putts that they've missed, you know, may cause them permanent damage. You never know. But you take Sergio. You know, that's been his downfall. Sergio, no doubt, he would have been a major champion by now had he not missed more than his fair share of short putts.
Yeah, and I think, I really do think that Jordan Spieth has an issue with his putting inside 4 feet. And I said it after he won Augusta last year, you know, why does any man look at the hole when he's putting if he hasn't had an issue, and why does he get his caddy in? You know, back off 2 footers and get your caddy in to check the read and get the greens reading book out from 2 feet. To me, it's just a lack of confidence from that distance. I hope I'm wrong, because he's unquestionably the best in the world from 20 to 25 feet. He holds more of those than anybody on the US tour by miles.
He certainly does.
Just to let you know that Stenson has made a birdie, third in a row at the fifth, so then are both now 14 under at the top. Garcia.
Just over 100 yards. And a little further back than it was yesterday.
And playing at 3.16 for the day. Can you believe it? Just 116 yards. And one of the easier pins on the hole.
Please, golf designers around the world, I hope you're watching. One of the great par threes, and ball grass in a different way.
Yeah. Somewhere 15,000 or something postage stamps. Now, where do you want to send it?
And they haven't used that very difficult back pin this week, where the green narrows into under 20 feet wide.
Currently ranked 13th in the world. He's 8th in the FedEx Cup ranking, so Reed having a good year.
And Sergio just a little bit on the left. And in she goes again. People love him. They really do enjoy him. They'd love to see him really contend in a major and end up lifting the trophy.
You know, I think the shame is, I remember watching him quite a lot as a youngster. You remember at the USPGA at Medina when he was up against Tiger and was in behind the tree there, and he hit that shot off the tree root and went bounding up the hill. Joyful youth. I remember following him round in a practice round.
The ninth hole, par 4, 427 yards. Those two bunkers need to be avoided, and that's when you stand on the tee, that's exactly where you feel like you want to aim. You've got to keep it to the right of that. Big mound on the left there, just short of the green, and the green situated 25 yards past that, and it slopes off on all 4 sides. So accuracy with your second shot is imperative. Iron off the tee for Garcia. He'll be trying to keep it down the right hand side of the fairway. Perfect.
No, you're good.
Links golf course.
You're good.
Over the back of the third, Sergio played this delightful little chip. It was landed at inch perfect. Then at the fourth.
Fourth from off the front of the green. Judge the distance to perfection. And that would be a birdie.
He also played a fantastic chip at 6th par 5 for a birdie, then 7. Wedged it into here, right in the middle of the back door for birdie.
And then the postage stamp. Good tee shot to here. It just started on the left, and in the middle it goes.
And up into a tie for 5th place now, Sergio. Stenson Nicholson 14, Johnston 6, JB Holmes has just birdied to go to 6. Sorry, Johnston 7, JB Holmes has just gone to 6. And then Sergio alongside Bill Haas. Good stuff. Lots of world ranking points available too if you can put in a really good final 10 holes.
But in many respects, this golf course starts here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Critical holes on this golf course. And very tough holes. You can play them in well over par. Anybody who plays those holes in par will have done very, very well this afternoon. Now there we see Reed, quite well short of Garcia's tee shot, but in pretty good shape. Garcia perfect. Position A+. Green, no bunkers. just the slopes off to the right, down to the left. The pin right towards the back.
What would you go with, your instincts or your caddies?
Instinct.
Yours.
Yep. You're the only one who knows how you're going to hit it, how you feel, what shape you're comfortable with.
$160 yards for Sergio. In the sunshine.
Probably a 9-iron. Yeah. Good idea of the impact here of this beautiful turf.
Hang on.
It's gone down the shaft a bit there. I wonder if it was a 9 or an 8.
Often when you take a divot off this turf, it sticks together. You just pick it up, walk back and stick it back in, step on it, you could hardly see there was even a divot taker.
In terms of the viewing, but I agree, it's a magnificent course. I would say of all the open vents, a jewel not in the sun.
Sergio from 25 feet. I'm glad I didn't call that, because I would have said that's going to turn a little from left to right, but it actually looked like it went up the hill. It's not stone dead either.
No, that is totally baffling.
What does your book tell you?
Left to right.
Left to right, I thought so, yeah.
There's a bin right next to you there, Jules, if you want to drop that in there.
Yes, I think somebody's been out and regraded the green overnight.
But you see, Sergio now stands there, and he's worrying about the mechanics as if he's hit a bad putt, and he really hasn't. He's hit a decent putt. It should have gone the other way, but immediately it's, you know, what did I do wrong there? Well, nothing, Sergio. Don't always blame yourself.
Sergio. This is the distance that Rory and Jordan Spieth missed a ton of the first 3 days, but safely in for Sergio.
And 3 years ago, you would have been sweating for Sergio there too.
That was very solid.
Good front. Good front nine, 33, 3 birdies. This is the 10th hole. This is what faces the drive of the 10th. You can't see from the tee where you're going, so you have to pick a spot over that sand bunker on the left that's built into the bank. This is a dangerous hole. I've seen a lot of doubles, drop shots. So let's see. We need to see a couple of solid tee shots.
Line across the page of the holes, and you put your score in underneath, and then it has a tear off strip underneath it where you put your own score. so that
I didn't think it was
obviously on the main card you put your opponent's score on, and then when you get into the recorder's hut you tear off the strip at the bottom and you can compare the numbers that you've written on there with your own card that your fellow competitor has written for you, and hopefully the two match.
I was going to say, you should call him your fellow, your playing partner. It's not really your opponent. It's
Well,
match play
he's
to your
not, he's
opponent.
not your playing partner, he's your fellow competitor.
Fellow competitor or playing partner, not your opponent.
Well, they're all your opponents.
If he was your opponent, you'd be Dormy for 3 up.
Fellow competitor is the correct title under the rules.
Under the rules.
He's got his line, and has he overdone it? Has he overdone it? No.
I don't know why he was leaning that way. It looked like he did it a little bit to the right, but it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the
On the
Pro
left-hand side of the
Tracer
fairway.
looked like it was heading.
10 and 11
Yeah.
are both blind tee shots and both very dangerous holes. In fact, this 10th hole, it's not over yet because it's a tough green. The banks, there are banks on both sides of the green, so you can hit your second shot and it runs down the bank and leave yourself a very difficult chip.
It's 12 years since the Open has been here at Royal Troon on the old course, the course nearer to the water. With the Portland course, which is rather younger. It came from St Andrews.
Some interesting bits of history that attach to the Open Championship here at Troon. In 1950, Bobby Locke shot 279, which was the record score at that time for the Open.
Good tee shots up 10. Patrick just missing the fairway, but they won't mind either of those. Flag 18 on, 7 off the left. There is just a little furrow left of the green, which is not too disastrous. Left of that is, but there is a huge drop off right of this green. Rolls right down. I mean, it's got to be 10, at least 10, a 10-foot drop, and it goes down the hill and then runs onto a little upslope in the semi-rough, which is just nasty. So, rule 1, hit the green.
Getting back to some of the interesting things attached to the event. In 1973, this is the first time they used the big ball, and they made the big ball compulsory. 1989 was the first time they had a 4-hole playoff. So it's quite interesting how Troon has kind of been involved in a lot of the changes in traditions of the Open Championship.
Sergio, utterly focused.
Sergio can make pars from now through to the 15th hole. He'll be in great shape.
Oh, he's coming with the left-hand lead. Don't be right. Don't be right. Hang on.
Stay there, baby.
Hang on.
Stay there.
Oh, no, don't.
Oh,
I see it run down there into that scraggy stuff there. Bit of sand, bit of grass. And that's a mistake from Sergio.
yes, Sergio, you were unlucky.
On this
He was
occasion,
unlucky.
definitely.
Just 59 years of age. The fact that he's played 4 rounds is pretty impressive.
Another disappointing week for Graham McDowell, though, who's really battling his game. And I'm sure that Darren Clark would like to have him in his Ryder Cup team, and it may be that he'd be in a situation where he'll have to pick him, but he'll want to see some form from him. He's got some green to work with here, but that's such a steep slope to come up. How does he play this?
Well, the right sort of eighth of the green slopes down towards the right, so he can pitch this if he's brave enough. He can carry it over the fringe into the little upslope, but that would require extreme precision. I mean, you think the percentage shot would be to land it a yard below the crest of the hill? And I hope that kills it. It hops up on the green and runs up to the hole. That sort of white strip level with the front of his cap, I think. Yeah, just below that, and maybe just a foot too low or a fraction too soft.
But so unlucky with that second shot. For the same money, it could have stayed up onto the green, and he would have been putting for a birdie. Hasn't had it. He hasn't had it. Oh dear, that's a pity. That is such a pity.
Yeah, because as you said, Dale, this is exactly the run. He wanted to get this run off to a good start. This 5 or 6 holes, didn't he? Get a good solid par in. Okay, let's go.
And his second shot was good enough. That's a pity. And they make their way off to the 11th tee. Another scary driving hole. This has got to be one of the scariest driving holes in the game. Anywhere in the world you won't find too many holes that are more scary than this. Out of bounds all the way down the right hand side. There's Gauze bush on the left hand side. You carry it, you can't see the fairway, so you're just picking a spot. Whew, it's a scary hole. And then comes the tough part of the hole, the second shot.
Yeah, it's a tee shot. Once you hit it on the Sunday and find the fairway or keep it in play, you just walk off that tee with such a sense of relief. The Open comes around here again. It's scary, and the gorse has grown up, so you can't see any of the fairway. You're picking a spot, hitting blind, and you know there's just trouble everywhere.
Fairway down the middle just to give you hope.
Yeah, that mound just right of Patrick Reed's ball, there's actually a big clump of heather up on top of it. And Sergio should be able to take that out of play. Quite comfortably. Well, with the driver, there's no question. He can actually, you see the graphic there, it's slightly helping off the left. If he gets this right, he can get this miles down. He seems pretty unperturbed. Utah.
Compound. Four birdies, 37 pars, 23 bogeys, and 7 holes where the score was double bogey or worse. Tony was mentioning there a couple of 8s and a 9 and a few 7s. The average score a little over 4.5. So closer to a par 5 than it is a par 4. Which is what it used to be, Julia.
But off a different tee, obviously. The par 5 tee was further left, I think, than it is now, was it not?
Okay.
I think it was a different angle. It was a bit further left and longer. There are those that think it was better as a par 5.
Slope at the front of the green. It's a long, gradual slope.
No. What's front? 161.
Sergio likes the little fade. You can see him on this breeze starting on the glass window
Yeah, it definitely gets 161
of the tower. Between the two towers, maybe with just a hint of fade.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's
That's the trouble. It doesn't feel like there's anything there when you're down in the valley, in the fairway.
It's interesting that Reed went ahead and hit despite the train coming by. What train?
Wind is from left to right. What do you think that is? 8 iron?
Looks at. Oh, looked like he started that quite straight at the flag. Oh, that was not the plan. It was definitely not the plan. It's the perfect distance, but just purely and simply a push.
Big 8 iron from 194 yards.
Here it is. I mean, the wind is just about straight across, but that is. Oh, what's he done? It looks turf. But, you know, he's so steep through the ball, and there's such a jolt on the wrists and forearms. It's not a surprise at the end of the week, but, you know, hitting balls on the range all week, trying to keep the game sharp. Very easy to get a couple of twinges.
Dustin Johnson has just birdied the 13th to get to 2 under and close to top 10. Coming here having had wins at the US Open and the WGC Bridgestone. A lot of people thought that Johnston might well clean up here as well. It's been a bit out of sync though, surprisingly. Sorry, not Johnston, Johnson, Dustin variety.
Also missed quite a lot of putts the first few rounds. Also was struggling on the greens.
Rory's birdied the 16th, par 5, 4 under, alongside Garcia, tied 6th at the moment. And the Johnston, the beef, has bogeyed the 8th, back to 6 under. There she goes. Out of. He has to bump this into the bank. He's just about got enough room to play the shot. Another very good execution.
Wants to experience different things.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays is a little bit different from the average American player who they don't fancy travelling too much. You can understand it with all the big tournaments at home. They don't need to travel.
Well
Well
done. Again, very solidly held by Garcia. Good up and down to ensure his par and remain at 4 under.
12th hole. 429 yards. Dogleg left to right.
No bunkers on this fairway. But it's a narrow fairway. And that dog leg makes it even narrower. In the second shot, there are a couple of bunkers, and there's that gauze on the left that is dangerous. We've seen players going there. Jamie Donaldson hit a couple of shots in there this morning, and if you're trying to keep it away from that bunker on the right of the pin and you turn it over just a little bit too much, the next thing you might see your ball disappear into that. But before anything happens, you want to drive the ball onto the fairway. 43 pars, 22 bogeys, 2 birdies, and 4 doubles or worse. So 4.44. The second most have come out here. I expected somewhere in the region of 40,000 today. Brilliant. It's quite incredible how the vast majority of them understand the game. Garcia's line in 6th position at the moment, tied with Rory McIlroy, who's already on the final hole.
A little from Glenn, meaning rather tasty, boss. Probably would have said that too if he didn't have a face full of chocolate.
First drop shots of the day, and it's a double. Well, he's a long way back, but he may be able to get there.
All depends on the lie, but the grass certainly from...
Or somebody and shoot across, or has somebody thrown a ball there?
Quiet there, please, thanks.
Looked a bit strange.
Now Sergio off that superb tee shot. This will probably be a 7-iron. Pin today at the 12th. There's 17 on, 8 from the right hand side of the green. Looks like the wind might have died a little bit. Look at that. That flag doesn't look like it's moving very much, does it?
Well, that was certainly in the forecast. You knew it wasn't going to be too far away when he's calling for it to be right.
He really does hit down and through the ball. Lovely divot. Funny enough, that looks like, I thought it was a 7-iron. That looked like it might have even been an 8. Good shot from Sergio Garcia here at the 12th.
Well, this match has not only a referee but an observer as well. He might well have been forward. A chap called Eduardo Botti, who I would think probably isn't British. And he may have seen what happened. It must have hit something very solid to go shooting across the fairway like that. Maybe it hit that hospitality stand. In which case I'd say he's got pretty lucky.
Got very lucky if that's what happened. If somebody did it on purpose, then I think there's an issue, isn't it?
Now this one for Garcia should go a little bit left to right. Very slightly downhill.
Always has 49 on his golf ball. Sergio. Shouldn't give ladies' ages away, but it's the year of his mother's birth.
You get all sorts of different numbers on players' balls now. Martin Keimer plays with a 59 because he has shot 59, not on the main tour. Justin Rose plays with a 99 because Kate, his wife's fraction though. 3 bogeys, only 1 birdie.
Another monster par 4, 13th, 475 yards. A little bit of a dog leg to the right. No bunkers at all on this hole, but lots of valleys and lots of rough, various other problems. Flag stick today is 21 on and right in the center, 12 yards from either edge of the green.
Really do get the feeling that the wind has dropped a little bit. It just seems to have got a bit easier now on the back nine. Rory McIlroy has finished with only a par at the last, home in 35, level par for a 67, so he's leading in the clubhouse at 4 under. Will not be leading in the clubhouse at the end of the day.
But you know, consider that for Rory, he didn't have his best week. And he's probably going to be, I would guess at worst it's going to be his 6th position. That's pretty good.
But never even close to contending.
Victors! Come on!
Can't win them all.
Yeah, at the moment it looks like there's only 2 guys that have contended this week. And they're just so far ahead, Mickelson and Stenson, and that is... well, lap of the gods.
Back off to the hard courts again. You have to get used to playing links golf and then forget all about it and go back to America and play something completely different.
Well, 167 for Sergio, so it's not that far if he can get a lie. And you can see there, drop off right, drop off left, big upslope at the front. He'd give a lot to be just above that second ridge right now, middle of the green. He'd be overjoyed, actually.
only playing in his third Open. Missed the cut in his first at Hoylake 2 years ago. Tied 20th at St Andrews last year, so he's looking to improve on that. Tied 18th at the moment.
Well, I agree with Dale, Jules. You know, he's taken up membership, and his goal is to play all sorts of courses in all sorts of conditions, and you know, he wants to improve the caliber of his game by playing internationally. And oh, how about this for a break?
Oh, that is a very, very good break. Gee, they're right where the people have walked, and it's sitting pretty.
And that is a big bonus.
It looks like what, Tony, a wedge?
Yeah, what did he have? 167.
I'm out a wedge. I think it looks like a wedge to me.
I suppose it is a little bit muddy under the ball, but
He could get relief in that if he wanted, couldn't he?
He could.
Abnormal ground conditions.
yeah, he could. But he'd either have to go right up the bank, ball above his feet in the longer stuff, or on the furrow, the other side of the furrow in the grass there. I think just go ahead and play it. Just make sure you get ball first. At least, you know, it negates the chance of getting a flyer. You just don't want to get it heavy. Not even slightly heavy from there. It'll go nowhere. Yeah, really late hit, making sure. Oh. Where's she gone? Very muted applause.
Unbelievable goings on ahead. Henrik Stenson's just made a bomb of a birdie at the 10th, and Phil Mickelson from 9 feet has followed him in for birdie. Stenson at 17 under, Mickelson at 16 under on the 10th.
Cool. If it was a boxing match, it would be a slugfest, wouldn't it?
That's incredible.
Weren't going to be doing this. It needed to be flat calm this morning and a bracing breeze this afternoon, but if anything, it's the other way around.
Oh, there's Sergio's ball next to that drain cover or whatever that green cover is. It's not that bad. It's not brilliant from where he was with the short iron, but he's got a fair bit of green to work with. Below the surface, mind you, so it's going to come out on a flatter trajectory. And the first bit of green does slope away from him. He'll find a way. Again, ball back in his stance, narrow stance. Almost played it too well. He probably didn't think he could get it up onto the green, land it on the green and keep it short of the flag.
For the championship. Now Sergio is stay at -4 in a tie with Rory McIlroy for 6th.
It was a pretty miserable effort. And he barely just got level with the front edge of the hole. Poor putt.
Wasn't a good hole for him, was it really? Poor drive. Looked like a pretty good second, maybe just a bit too hard then. Not a great chip, no. And quite a negative sort of putt. First par 3 on the back 9. The 14th one, 78. I put the pin in the left-hand side to bring that left-hand bunker into play today. It's a beautiful golf hole. Simple. So there's a couple of bunkers. First bunker shouldn't come into play today. Certainly came into play earlier in the week.
Patrick Reed is enjoying a really good year on the PGA Tour. He's had 9 top 10 finishes, including a couple of runners-up. Started well in the hind eye.
Sergio. Let's see if he can follow Patrick Reed. That beautiful iron shot. Leaning like it might be a touch right. It is, but it's a good shot. Safely on. 2 par 3s in the back 9. If you can hit them in regulation, you've done very, very well.
And a 17 playing 2
holes. Swede and an American battling it out at the top of the leaderboard. A few more Americans up there, but there are some non-Americans, which is good to see. And Andrew Johnston is the leading Brit. Rory McIlroy leading the clubhouse with a 67. Tyrrell Hatton, the young English lad, 24-year-old, at 3 under. Americans have dominated this championship at Troon. In recent times, it's been an American winner the last 6 times.
Yeah, you've got to go a long way back for a British winner here. 1923. Arthur Havers.
This one should go left to right for the birdie for Sergio. Not dramatically, I don't think. Maybe perhaps 2 or 3 inches. He started it right. Just a complete misread.
He didn't have the book.
He didn't, did he?
So it was 97 years ago that the last British player won the Open, yeah.
Open at Troon, yes.
Amazing.
No need to get depressed.
I'm not going to check your maths. I'll take your word for it.
You'd have to say we're due for a British or European winner here.
It was quite a long time ago since a South African won it.
66 years ago.
Yeah.
I was ready for that.
No mistake.
So to finish, par 4, par 5, par 3 and a par 4. Par 3 is the longest par 3 on the golf course. That's playing 221. But the next hole, the 15th, is another monster. 499 yards, par 4. Okay, there, 282 comes into play, as does the one on the left-hand side. Obviously depending on the wind. You've got the little mound in front of the green that you could use if you're trying to get the ball to shoot forward, to run. If you're coming out the semi-rough, you can use that to get the ball going and get it up onto the green.
And thankfully the wind is not hurting. It should be straight across into the wind. This hole was a nightmare earlier in the week.
Cameras away now, please. Thank you.
The 11th has taken another prisoner, not catastrophically so, but Henrik Stenson has just missed his par putt from 6 feet or so to make bogey. Mickelson very nearly made birdie from off the back of the green. So they're tied again at 16 under.
Sergio doesn't care about that, does he? He's just going to give us a good old clump with the driver. And he is one of these guys. He has that extra 20 or 30 yards on tap. He's long anyway. But when he wants to really lash one, wonderful thing to just say, right, I'll have 30 extra here.
But he can get that penetrating flight that's going to run. Doesn't Stenson with the driver tends to put it way up in the sky and doesn't necessarily get much run, but Sergio can get it zipping along the deck. Delhaize has been very quiet about this. He ought to be getting excited because there's quite a lot of blue sky appearing. I was getting excited yesterday seeing blue sky when there wasn't any.
It is lovely. It really is. Turned into a beautiful afternoon.
Well, for the last 6 or 7 holes for the leaders coming in, they're going to have the best conditions of the week. Probably apart from maybe Thursday afternoon when it was glorious and there wasn't too much wind then. Two of the last 3 opens at Troon have resulted in playoffs. Mark Calcavecchia emerged victorious against Wayne Grady and Greg Norman. First 4-hole playoff in 1989. Justin Leonard won without one, just beating Jesper Parnevik of Sweden, and Baron Clark in 1997, and Todd Hamilton emerged victorious against Ernie Els after 4 holes of extra time in 2004. Just at the moment, the leaders are tied. Oh, big difference here. Just 50 yards.
Reed's still got 221 to go out of that rough. It's asking a lot, but Sergio 334 off the tee. And no real help from the wind. That's a good clout.
I'm trying to get greedy. Sergio has 52 yards ahead. Wow. Only 170. So that's what, 330 yards is his drive. It's a long tee shot, isn't it? With no help in wind. This pin
20 yards up the green today. 6 off the left. Oh, he's lost it right again. Just getting ahead of it and just not getting any release. There it is, short right.
It's a comment you often hear, especially playing with club golfers, is he didn't complete your backswing. And that's what it looks like with him. He's actually just not completing his backswing, not giving himself that extra couple of seconds.
Yeah, just a little snatch here, isn't it? Well, got to up and down it. Try and find a birdie or two on the way in. He's 3 under at the moment, lying 8th. 5 under is lying 4th. Yeah, a birdie or two would be very nice. Give him another top 5, Sergio. He's had 21 top 10s in his career in majors. 11 top
birdies and a whole bunch of pars again.
Keeps going like this. He'll end up as playing captain in the President's Cup next year.
That's right, yes. Maybe they can save it. They'll have 11 players and then he can play Nicky. Could pay for double points. Right, Sergio. Looks to me like he's putting the ball from off the edge of the green. It's going to come up over the fairway grass, up the slope onto the green. Done this once before today and he judged it perfectly, and he's done the same thing again. Beautiful putt.
Tied 17th.
Miguel Angel Jimenez has just finished bogey, birdie, bogey, bogey, birdie to be back in 36 for a 71 in a level par, tied 17th. Good effort from the old boy.
Par 5, 16th. The second hole on the course to have a ditch running across it. 290-ish to reach the ditch. Just over 300 to get over it.
Garcia now.
fade. And that tee is up a little bit today, but not enough to tempt him.
That's sitting up nicely there.
Might be able to get home from there.
Defending champion Zach Johnson has just finished with a par, home in 37 for a 71. So he's at the moment tied 12th at 1 under, alongside the likes of Matthew Southgate, Andy Sullivan, Emiliano Grillo, Gary Woodland. They're all 1 under. So good defence of his title from Zach. He's played well throughout the week, just fell away a bit at the last. Remarkable goings on the 12th, where Henrik Stenson found the green in 2, had a makeable birdie putt.
They've got the fairway surrounded.
Well, 292 Sergio to go, 298 Reed, both in the rough. It would take a massive hit and a flyer for either. Begging it to avoid the bunker, Jules. I think she's in.
She's in, yeah. Absolutely not the place to be, although it's far enough back from the lip. I think we'll have a shot. But the back nine has lost its teeth. The wind has died right away, and there are birdies to be made.
Are you heading straight left, or are you following this way?
Relies on yardages. Boys of old were just a Bible, that. Plenty would today still, actually, I think.
Sergio 39 yards. US.
I guess the tendency here, if anything, will be to catch this slightly fat. More than slightly. Well, I thought he'd try and take that a bit cleaner, but it was brilliantly played. Do you approve, Master?
Absolutely. Pretty much what I thought we would. I hope you were talking to me, not Hazy.
No, I was talking to you.
Okay, just checking. No, I thought that was. I thought that was pretty much what he was going to do. Sort of fairly squarish club face. And you know, from that range, when you're hitting it that hard, it's going to generate a bit of grip on it in the second or third bounce.
Took a lot of sand there.
I don't know. I think it was a bit of an optical illusion. I think he really hit it hard, and you're getting down into that wet sand, and it just looks like a big explosion. You'd probably find he was probably only half an inch behind the ball, if that. Can you get a 4 out of it? Come on, Sergio. Give us something to cheer about. Birdie, birdie, birdie finish. That's what he's thinking.
So Sergio has something to play for to get a birdie to jump into a tie with those 3 players that are at the moment at 5 under. So, at 4 under, excuse me. So Sergio now. This will be an excellent birdie. up and down out that bunker. Well done, Sergio Garcia. Par to tie fifth. Par birdie. Eagle, eagle.
Now you're getting carried away. Andrew Johnston is the other surprising player for under another Englishman who's sort of jumped out of nowhere this year. Brilliant win at Valderrama in Spain. Were you down there, Tony, for that?
Yes, I was. I mean, just vaulted onto the sort of world stage, and you know, his whole demeanour, the way he handles the public and people in his Twitter account. He's a gem. He's a man of the people, down to earth, salt of the earth, good guy, and he can play. Whew. What's he thinking, Hazy? I think he's thinking birdie, birdie. What's he got to lose?
Well, sure, he's going to lose, but you know, if he can just... He's 2 shots behind 4th place. Steve Stricker's on 6 under par. So, you know, so anything can happen to Steve Stricker, but you know, if he can finish with 1 birdie in the last 2 holes, which is possible because the last hole is playing a lot shorter than it has, you know, he can maybe get into 5th place on his own. Or if Stricker drops a shot, he can tie for 4th.
17 playing 221 yards. Difficulty here is the flag's just 7 off the left, wind off the left, and he prefers the fade, Sergio, so it's not an easy flag for him.
And the wind, even though it's not blowing that hard, it's still there, and it's left to right, which is not the favourite wind. So the most important thing is you've got to stay in the present. He's got to think about this shot. He's got to put this shot on the green. Forget about the next hole. Forget about the next putt. Hit this shot on the green.
Yeah, pin high right, middle of the green would be a good one for him. Is he going to try and draw this in?
Go! Go! Go!
Might be, you know.
Go!
Was to. He's actually holding it against the wind. What a lovely shot.
This is the way you love to see Sergio play golf.
Oh man, isn't it?
Huh? Just aggressive, smile on his face. He's enjoying, enjoying being. Look at him,
pumped up.
He's loving it. Look at that. Look at that face.
There hasn't been a lot of chatter between these two, has there?
No, there hasn't. I don't think.
Go!
He knew it was good. He was just hoping for a firm bounce. Maybe he got it 95% pure. Just knew it needed that touch of help. Pretty good though.
Not sure Patrick Reed speaks Spanish.
No, Sergio speaks immaculate English.
6 birdies. Nicholson had yet to drop a shot today. 3 birdies and an eagle. No male Scandinavian player has won a major in history. There have been plenty of females.
Have there been plenty of females, or just Anika won a whole bunch? No, I think there have been.
Suzanne Pedersen.
Yes. But Anika's won a number on her own.
Katrina Nilsmark. Helen Alfredson. Yeah, I think there are plenty.
You know, and their sponsorships also. You know, their clauses in their sponsorships that if they do this or that, they finish and they make a little bit of extra money. Sometimes a lot of extra money. So everybody's playing for something. So Sergio now to get to 5, which will put him in 5th place on his own. And it's got a chance. No, it's going the other way.
Good solid 3 from Sergio. Stays 2 under for the day. That's not bad going. Irritated a few people, but even when things were going against him today, he's been completely calm, total control, and grounded out. The final hole. 459-yard par 4. Flag tucked over, sort of halfway up the green, right-hand side.
Playing far shorter than it has this week so far. A lot easier with the reduced wind this afternoon. Really has turned into a lovely afternoon. So the Open Championship of 2016 will be remembered.
Yeah, those are not to be messed with. You get in one of those bunkers, you ain't getting home for 2, that's for sure.
Now Sergio Garcia with a 3-wood off the tee. Doesn't need the distance. He needs to make sure that he puts it on the short grass. That's what's important for Sergio.
290 over the second bunker down the left, but 312 to reach the one down the right. So he wants it on that tall flagpole. Split the fairway, middle to right half is ideal.
That looks good. That looks very good. Just exactly where he wanted it, down the right half, exactly. Whoops, it's run into a divot. But that's a bunker that Greg Norman headed into in the playoff when they played there in 1989 and then blew it out of bounds, didn't he? So, anyway, Sergio short. We think it might have run into a divot. Let's hope not. That's probably because he very rarely played.
I don't think Sergio's going to be a happy bunny when he sees his lie. I mean, it's just the nature of the game. Luck of the draw, but he hit a beautiful tee shot, and I think it almost 100% definitely ended in a sandy divot. Just got to forget sideways.
Good. Yeah.
It's a nice angle for his left to right shape on this wind, because he's actually hitting almost slightly away from the right hand greenside bunker. So TV tower, little fade, clean strike, birdie, here we come.
Now Holmes has dropped the shot, so a birdie here would put him in a tie for 4th at the moment.
Holmes has dropped 2 shots. He's double bogeyed the 15th.
Yes, you're right, yeah, sorry. likes it. A bit left. But that's pin high, and he's got a chance to birdie the hole. And just a pity he listened to Tony Johnson about the line of the shot. If he hadn't, he would have been stone dead.
But he didn't listen about the shape. But what a good shot out of a sandy divot, I tell you what. I think he said that's just one of those times. What can you do? Good tee shot finish in a sandy divot. You've just got to be a little cautious. Maybe hold a putt.
Boy, is he going to get some applause as they walk up this fairway. Amazing. It really is very, very special. There's nothing quite like it.
Now that is applause and appreciation. Tell you what, sitting in the comms box, the hairs are standing on end on the arms.
Yeah, he's finishing 5th.
But that's what makes the Open so special. The people are so knowledgeable that it's not just about him finishing here. Finishing 5th. It's what he does for the game.
Sure.
What he's done in the past, all his other achievements, because they understand that, they know about that, and that's what makes it so special.
No, I quite agree. What I meant was they just wait until Nicholson and Stenson come down here. If you thought that was...
Well, I tell you what, if Gary Player walked down there, or Jack Nicklaus, or Tom Watson, they'd get a standing ovation even today.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Nick Felder.
So, Nick Felder. Right, this one's got to go a little bit left to right.
This is one of those putts too, you desperately want to make it, but you just don't want to do something silly. You don't want to give it the quick 3-jack, ride it 4 or 5 feet by.
Well, it's a little bit uphill at the end, and generally he likes to die it in the hole, so I think chances are he's going to leave it short, if anything.
I tell you, I fancy if he 2-putts.
Wrong on all counts. Good putt.
He 2-putts, I fancy that he's going to finish in the top 4.
Beautiful putt. Home in 36 for a round of 69. At the moment tied 5th alongside McIlroy and Tyrrell Hatton. It's another outstanding Open from Sergio Garcia, but another one that slips by without seeing his name on the trophy.
I must say, it's a privilege to be sitting here watching all 18 holes played by Sergio Garcia today. An outstanding round of golf. Started off in not the best of...
Done, Patrick Reed. A round of 72, tied 12th at 1 under, alongside Matthew Southgate, Andy Sullivan, Emiliano Grillo, Gary Woodland and Zach Johnson.